showed the beginning. Okay, this is Hector Castillo. Poppy is my favorite pseudonym now. It's actually funny how I don't know how it started exactly. Obviously, Latino, I've done it with girls, like, to call me Poppy. But then, it's when I started my Instagram. My first one was now banned, Poppy Mapuche. And people just started calling me by it. And I was like, okay, I kind of dig it. And then it was like a mass like compliance. Now, guys and girls would just message me and they just call me Poppy. And I'm like,
dude, that sounds like I need to change my name and get something along those lines. Dude, you got a new goal for me now. Get a new nickname.
Daddy Joe. Big Daddy.
Wow. Yeah, Big Daddy. I know Big Daddy. That's good.
Big Daddy. Yeah.
Big Daddy and Poppy. Or Poppy. You go first. Poppy and Big Daddy.
Oh, I love it. And it's like they're already, before the conversation even begins.
Yeah.
There's a sexual, and even friends that I've had for a long time, like, she'll be like, "Oh, hi, Poppy," and I'm like, oh fuck, like, this is actually, it's marketing. It's very interesting. Okay,
I'm gonna add that to my to-do list. Find a new nickname over here. So my list for today is here. I have a list every day.
Oh, you have daily? Oh man, I need to get on that. I need to.
Yeah, every day. I'd like it written, because the best part is when you're done with them, you could cross them off.
And it feels like, oh yeah, I got it.
Feels like a sense of accomplishment. So I have a short list today, but you were first on my list.
Yeah.
Hector, call with Hector.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Call with Poppy.
Call with Poppy. What time is it over there?
10:50 now. But I woke up late. I was in Miami this weekend, so I didn't get too much. My sleep was all messed up. Yeah.
That's right. After the call, I'll ask you about that. We can have a normal chat.
Sure.
Okay. So, yep. See, this is how I talk. It's weird. I think I have like a female mind that just goes.
That's why you can relate to him so well.
Exactly. Okay, Hector Castillo Poppy from girlschase.com. And we have Joe with us, who does work for Girls Chase, but you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, Joe Ducard I go by. I've written for Girls Chase before. I teach boot camps with Girls Chase. And I have my own YouTube channel and books. And I mean, I've been doing this now since 2007 was when I started. So the math gets worse as I get early in the day, but that's 12 years.
I don't even know what year it is.
Yeah. Almost 12 years now. So, teach guys cold approach and meeting women and how to be better in all areas too. I'm a fitness trainer as I was a fitness trainer as well too, but mostly the dating and all that other stuff too. So,
and the dating thing, just quickly, it started because I remember you have that 2 pictures, that you like to use when you were overweight, and then dating was at the same time as when you were like doing Total Improvement.
Yeah, so that picture was taken in 2007. So I actually just read the game when I took that picture.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like just getting into it. And I was actually using some of the stuff from the book when I was still really heavy too.
Mystery Method. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to read the Mystery Method before I went into class in college and talk to girls and stuff like that. Yeah, and it worked.
You tell me they have a C smile and all that shit?
Yeah, so you got to see versus use. Yeah, I opened them over the shoulder, and I did the false time constraint, but that didn't work because we still had to be in class for 2 hours. So that one,
I gotta leave in 5 minits, dude.
I actually got to go in a second. Like, you just got here. The class is 2 hours long, and I'm like, does she always like this? So maybe come down there. It's a little uncalibrated, but I learned.
You have to try it in like the most extreme situations. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah.
That was me, yeah. But I'm sure the stuff we teach now is a little more calibrated, obviously.
Yeah.
We've learned our lessons and all that other stuff now. So I like to say this: I teach guys how to attract women authentically. Mm-hmm. In a way that you don't have to be embarrassed or feel weird or do anything that's like. We come up with some funny, humorous stuff to say every now and then, but we come up with it. It's not like you have to say this or else you're going to break the rules. And
second rule.
Yeah. There's too many rules.
Cool. All right. So I've been doing this for a long time, which is going to be useful for our last topic. So we'll start with lead generation, which it took me 5 minutes to understand what the fuck you meant. Means getting leads, and that comes from sales or something.
Yeah, so like it's a marketing term. I actually heard other dating guys talking about it on YouTube as well. And it was funny. I was like, oh, I've been talking about that myself as well for years. Dating and sales and marketing are very related, right? And if you want to make a sale, let's say that's sleeping with a girl or getting a girlfriend, whatever your end goal is. If you want to do that, then you have to have enough leads, right? Enough leads in the funnel to then sift them out and then see who's ready to buy. And then, only X amount are going to buy, back to old school stuff, a lot of real old school stuff is like, if you do everything right, you can get every girl you talk to. But I mean, if you spend a couple weeks out going and approaching girls, you see that's definitely not the case.
No.
They say it's somewhere between, I think the statistic was like 45% of people are in relationships. And then that's just in general. That's in general. Yeah. You can Google it if you want.
So
I think it was
lying when they say they have a boyfriend.
well, here's the thing. How about this? Let's say 45% of people are in relationships, and then let's say that's just people in general. That's including dudes and fucking ugly people and whatever not.
Right.
Hot chicks, I bet it's probably 80 to 90%
yes.
are in relationships, right? So you're not going to get every girl you talk to just by default. A lot of guys, especially when they talk about day game, they get that girlfriend objection a lot. Because there's not a lot of sifting out, but regardless, when I think of lead generation, it's how are you filling your funnel with new girls? How are you meeting them, and how many options do you have? It goes back to abundance, right? That's something that we always talk about so much. And, I'll get guys, friends, sometimes former students, and they'll message me and say, oh, this girl, what should I say to her? What should I do? Or this and that, and they're stuck up, and I'm like, okay, well, how's your lead generation right now? And like, what do you mean? I'm like, are you meeting any other girls? If you're usually when you're really frustrated, there's a lack of abundance. So they don't really have any of that lead generation. So I thought it'd be cool. We could give guys some suggestions of ways that we've used to meet women that have worked really well. I'd love to hear how you've been doing it for the last few years as well. And I'm sure you have things that are different than me.
Right.
To kind of add to these guys. My biggest one obviously has been going out at night and doing cold approach. I think that's like easy because it's the lowest barrier to entry.
Yes.
And it's also all the girls are going to be in one place.
Yes. Okay.
That's one of my favorite ones.
So let's see. Find where the strong market is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Then sometimes I'm a list guy and sometimes I'm not, but it helps to write it down. So
hey, good. Hey, I got the list. If we got to list it, I'm down.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm just like, no, fuck lists. I have no schedule. And then, but when I'm thinking about I guess it's from training and philosophy. Like you write down your premises. Maybe that's where it comes from. Okay.
And this is how we come up with cool systems and stuff to teach.
Yeah.
Right. So I come up with most of all my stuff that I wind up teaching, and articles and emails and all that other good stuff. Yeah,
they come from while you're coaching a guy, you explain something and you're like, I've never put that into words.
And I write it down.
And then you write it down. Exactly.
Every time I teach it, I do that. I'm like, hold on 1 second. I'm writing this down. I got to teach this one again. This is really good.
As I'm doing a call, I'll be like, they're like, what was that? I'd be like, oh, I was writing an article. Sorry.
I'm taking notes.
Taking notes on yourself. Yeah. I don't know how my mind works. Okay. Strong market.
And real quick, that's something I used to do, which I should do more with girls, is if I say something funny that works really well, I'll even tell them, like, oh, that's good. I got to use that again. And I'll pull up the notes after my phone and I'll be like, are you writing that down? I'm like, hell yeah, that was awesome. I'm going to say that.
I'm going to get another bitch.
Hell yeah.
Does that lead into you telling them that do you usually tell girls you're a dating coach?
It depends. It depends on what my goals are with that girl. If, if I want to kind of move things along a little quicker, then I don't throw it in there because that's more of a cog in the wheel. It'll slow things down. It'll make her kind of second guess me and this and that. But if it's a girl that I'm either going to be friends with or a girl that I see potential to really date and spend some time with, then I'll definitely have to share.
So you want to start from with honesty in the beginning.
Yes. But if I know where, maybe I'm traveling or whatever, it's going to be kind of a quick thing or something like that, then I don't stir the pot that much. Right. I just thought I do marketing, which is
helps. You don't think it helps make you a lover, or it just creates more problems than it creates benefits?
I appreciate your question, and with you saying that, it's made me think I should try saying it and see how it goes.
Because I do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm open to it. How's it work for you usually when you meet them?
I used to say writer. That's what I was doing for a while. But I was telling them I was writing romance novels, which I am, like 50 Shades of Grey. So it would have the sexual element without the you might be a sociopath like question that comes up when you're a dating coach. So that was great. The writer angle was really good. But then when I started calling myself a dating coach, it magnifies everything. So if I do bad, it makes me look really bad.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. I said a tease to a girl and she didn't like it. She's like, you should know better than this. You teach this. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Like, don't throw that in my face.
Just they go for the fucking jugular with that
This
shit.
works 80% of the time.
And then if it goes well, then it's really good. And it's for social circle, it's like a fucking nuke. So when
dude, that's great for social circle. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Because when I came to Romania and I started making friends, they obviously saw me in action and they're like, okay, successful. So then I would meet new people and I would have girls come up to be like, I heard you're a pickup artist. They weren't like ready to offer me the pussy just yet, but they were like, they would even tell me explicitly, because I'm being so honest, they would just reflect it and they would say, I'm interested, like, I'm just curious if you're as good as you say.
Yeah, people get real curious about it. That's definitely the truth. And what'd you say about the social? Oh, with social circle, dude, I'm sure you've experienced it in your life, and I've experienced it in my life over the last 10 years. When people know that I do this and they see my videos or they see some skills or whatever, dude, it's like being a multi-millionaire. Like, people just want you around. Like, I've been to the craziest places. I've never spent money on a bottle service table in my life, but I've been to tons of them, and I've been flown around or all these other places because people are like, wow, we got to have this guy around because this is what he does and what he teaches and whatnot. And, it's like, so I could see how, especially for social circle, it'd be a good thing for people to. Yeah, no,
it sometimes can be, it's kind of like when you are a multimillionaire, everyone wants to be around you, but they want something from you. And so you be partying, and then your buddy's like, hey, can I talk to you for 5 minutes? And he's like, man, I was hanging out with this girl. And I'm like,
yeah, dude, all the time, bro. This week I was getting it so much when I got back. I was like, everybody was like telling me all this, asking for all this advice and shit. And then one of my buddies, I had to be like, dude, I don't want to talk about dating right now.
Yeah, leave me alone. Like, let me go. Like, I need to go watch TV or something, please. It's too much.
Yeah, I've been trying to take a day off since I got back on Sunday, but it's already Wednesday. I just had so much shit to do. I haven't got around to it. Maybe this afternoon, I think I'm just going to do nothing.
Do absolute fucking nothing. Yeah.
Go for a hike or something. Yeah.
That's necessary once in a while, but that's a life of service. We have to give. But yeah, no, it's a, how do we fucking get it? See, I'm just going to roll with it. That's just how conversations go.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. What the hell are we talking about? Oh, lead generation.
Right. That's why I have notes, because I would have lost track. Okay. Strong market. Oh, I was trying to systematize how we can get lead market. So strong market. So you do nightclubs.
It depends on the city, right?
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, go back to you, but like, you're right with the market. It depends on, the markets are different in different places that you're at too.
Yeah. The thing that I was going to say is normally that would be an avenue of mine, especially because I worked in the nightlife industry. So going to work, when I was working as a, we called it a table service assistant, the TSA. So I'd work with like the Instagram model girl, so even just going to work, first of all, I have her near me. So that's practice.
Hell yeah.
And then people are literally coming to me. And then also I have the authority of being a club guy. So that was just lead generation in and of itself. Every time I'd go out or work, I'd be making out with girls. But then if I was just going out solo, yes, it was a huge lead generation, but recently it's been something that I guess this leads into the last topic, but like I've been slowing down on nightclubs. So what if guys, I tell clients now because nightclubs are a good barrier of entry, but they're also high difficulty because they have so much competition. So if you have a guy who, for instance, is watching this and he doesn't like nightclubs and doesn't want to cut his teeth there, then he has to do day game or do you go to like, do you have like hobbies that you go to that are group based, like a dance class or something like that?
Yeah, so it's a great question, but real quick, I want to talk about the one part of it you said where the guy who doesn't want to go to nightclubs or clubs because he doesn't like them.
Okay, right?
Sure. Let's talk about that real quick, because I get that all the time. Guys are like, oh, I don't like bars and clubs, whatever. I've never been high or drunk in my life. I don't drink alcohol.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You told me you don't drink, but I didn't know you meant you never drink.
never drank, never been high, and I hate drunk people. So I don't like bars or clubs. If there weren't hot girls there, I would never go. So I feel you on that. I don't like those places, but in most cities, okay? In most cities, the night game is going to be way more lucrative than the day game. Right now, if you live in London or Montreal during the summer, or some of those Canadian cities, New York City as well, certain parts of Los Angeles, no problem. But like here in Austin, yeah, we got some pretty girls at Whole Foods, but if you go game for 2 hours in Whole Foods, you do 10 approaches, you have a high likelihood of getting kicked out of the place. Right? Versus if you go to the bars here, they're just packed with so many girls that you could do 10 approaches in 5 minutes and no one's going to bat an eye. So I believe for practice purposes, especially when a guy is starting out, to cut your teeth, to earn your stripes, and to really, get these skills down, I believe that bars and clubs are usually the safest bet for most cities. So that's why I advocate them. I don't like them either. If there weren't girls there, I wouldn't go. It goes back to, what our old school guy said back in the day. He's like, bars and clubs are the dojo for you to kind of practice. And then going back to even something that Sin said, he was interviewed on TV. He's like, we go to bars and clubs because that's where the women are at. Right. Right. So
the strongest market. I mean, and they're open to sexually, and like no one goes to a bar I always make fun of people who are like, I'm going to have fun. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're not going to have fun. You're going to get some validation of some way or another, or to meet somebody or whatever, so that's usually the thing. So I find that usually I start with that for most guys, for that to be the foundation. But like you said, as we're going into these other things, look, if you can go to a dance class, right? Like I used to go to hip hop dance classes. I'm moving now, so I've been traveling, so I haven't been going to them. But I know guys who do salsa classes, and lots of girls at salsa classes. I know guys. I have a friend who met his wife at CrossFit, which is a great community. Yeah, absolutely. So you got a bunch of fit girls and everybody together that talk to each other. Yeah, that's another fantastic community. One thing me and my buddy are going to try out, probably even this Sunday, is we have a meetup that's called hiking and tacos. So you hike for an hour and then you go to the taco. I thought it was the other way around. It was like, you're going to shit yourself. Okay.
Yeah. I think you hike back after, so you got to order the right taco.
Okay.
But it's something that just, meetup.com and all this stuff, that can be great. The only issue that sometimes I have with some of these things is they could be kind of sparse. Sometimes as far as hot women. So sometimes I'll show up to a marketing event, right? And there's one cute girl there and all the guys are trying to talk to her, which I'm like, fuck, man. Like, so those things can sometimes be really competitive. But I believe every guy should do research on his area and see what looks good. So for example, I have two buddies who live in Santa Monica, California. They got into salsa, they do salsa. And on Santa Monica, the hell is that? The 4th Street Promenade there. Every Sunday, they have salsa meetups and a bunch of girls, everybody hanging around to dance, So like that's something to incorporate every single week into your schedule. So a lot of guys, look, sometimes they watch videos and read books and stuff. We're looking for the magic bullets and the quick fixes, but there's no way around. Yeah. When I get a guy, especially for phone coaching, I'll say, look, you need to do some research and find these sweet spots in your city of what they are and where a lot of people are going to hang out, right?
And the only way you find them is exploring as many, because you're going to think something is like maybe you think a salsa class is great, and then you show up and it's all dudes, and you're like getting all close with the guy, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, you got to dance with the guy to practice, or you got to bring a broomstick or something. Kind of go real quick. 2 things to add while I have it on my head. Someone just showed me this weekend. Snapchat has heat maps.
Really?
Have you seen that before? Oh, let me see.
I use Instagram only.
All right.
Show me.
I could show real quick on the phone.
Yeah, because I'm sure we have a lot of guys who are on Snapchat.
So you go to Snapchat, and then you go to your picture screen, and then you squeeze it in, and it'll have a heat map on there. How many
users are around you?
So you could zoom in, and you could see these little. Can you see there's like little spots?
Yes.
And wherever those spots are, that's where people are taking stories today.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, bro, I'm sure it would go really bad a few times, but I'm sure also there would be a time where you're like, "What's up, girl? I saw you were snapping a story." Oh my God.
Yeah. So like that, like I know for a fact that's where there's a graffiti wall where girls show up to like take pictures and stuff, right?
Oh,
So there might be like
you know where that is. Oh, okay. And you can just like sneak around there.
Hey man, look, if we want to use technology and be stealth with this stuff, we can do that. Another thing I tell guys to do, the last one-on-one student I had, he's like, all right, where do I find good venues in my city? I was like, dude, like listen around, whatever. I said, but how about you follow a couple attractive local girls on Instagram, see where they post their pictures from, and like go to those geotags, because you can go to the geotag and see who else is taking pictures there. And we did it. I was like, look, this bar looks really good. And we went that night and it was packed. I was like, see, there's you could see
hot
the girls
go where hot girls go.
Exactly. So that's a little stealthy stuff, you know. Get your stalk on, man, and see where
that's
if you're having trouble finding those places. I saw. Remember one girl I used to follow. She was super attractive, and then I saw she was at this bar that was actually right down the street from me, which I haven't been in like a couple of years. And then I went one of the nights, and it was packed, and I was like, "Holy shit! I did not know this was that good." Right? So you could even pay a little closer attention to some of these local girls, where they're hanging out and where they're going. It'll help you find venues.
They're, especially if you're in a country that you're not familiar with, like here, like, you know, in Romania, I had to have the locals take me places. That's where I found like Control, which is like a hipster bar here. And I got introduced to it like literally the second night I came. And that's where I met quite literally the majority of like the friends that I have, or some of the girls that I've hooked up with. Or
well, you did it old school because you're a G. You're like, I'm just gonna go meet people and say, hey, take me somewhere, right? Which is
that's just like, I'm just if I go to a new city, I'm just like, all right, let's go get lost. That's my.
I love it. I love it, dude. That's fucking awesome, bro. I got to do more of that. I got to get off the gram and do more of that.
Yes. Oh man, the gram makes you lazy because you got so many girls just right there.
The gram, bro. The gram. It's
double-edged sword. Wait till we get like. I mean, I lost my first account. I told you I don't want to get in that story, but I lost my first account because I got in a fight with like an argument with someone. But I had like 800 followers, and now I'm trying to rebuild it. But I have an idea of like, once you reach a certain like critical mass, like you're considered like you know, like famous, like insta famous, like probably like 10K I'd say is like when you're like, you know, like you can get some influence. But if I'm already getting the attention that I am with like 400 followers, like I can just imagine if you have, now I'm sure a lot of guys have big followers but don't have game, but if you have game and you have that reach and that social proof, that shit's like next level. Like Dan Bilzerian, like he's literally like number 1 in the world. Like he could compete. Yeah,
he's got like, well, he not only does he have the followers, he's got like, I don't know, he's probably got like 50 million or something now. But not only that, but his profile is very attractive. Yes. That's another thing too. Like he's posting the lifestyle and showing these things off in the right way. We're like, you know, we're going back to old school again. Remember the picture routine? Like they used to say, show up in the club with like a packet, like an envelope, and like bring out your pictures. So I just got these developed and like show like specific pictures that hit.
I don't remember that. That's in the game. Is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was like the thing that guys would say. Now it wasn't a bad idea at all because it shows pictures of your life, you know, and you with friends, you traveling, all these attraction switches, right? But Instagram is that.
Yeah, that was the precursor to. They predicted Instagram. That's fascinating, and he's mastered it, and so I think that's. We should always like, you like to keep yourself honest. We should always have the ability to go out and, you know, do it old G style. But yeah, there's something magical about Instagram. So I don't think I have you on Instagram. How many? What are you at now? Followers?
Oh, I got a lot. I'll text you. We'll get it after the thing.
I'm curious for like literal, like, I don't know how transparent you want to be.
I got like 60-something thousand followers on there.
Do you, Jesus, like it took me a second. Be completely honest, and we can cut this out if you don't want to admit it. How many times do you randomly get like hit up by girls?
Randomly hit up by attractive girls?
Yeah.
Very rarely, dude.
But okay, that makes sense. That's fine, because still, even if you're like at celeb status, girls are still going to be like on the receiving end. How much does it help if you just DM a random girl?
It used to. I'll say this: when I first started it, it used to work like a charm.
Yeah.
Like in 2014, 15, 16, I started building up a lot of followers. But a lot of guys have caught on to it, and I've noticed it's incredibly difficult now to get responses.
It's saturated.
everybody is doing it, and like every guy is replying to stories, and like a girl will go to her message request and see, oh, this person replied to story, and they'll just decline all of them. They don't even pay attention to it. So
because you can press the mass decline button, can't you?
yes, you can hit decline all. So what I tell guys is, look, if you're doing interesting things, right, and you're traveling a little bit, you know, even if it's once a month or once every 2 months, post one of those pictures on. It doesn't hurt you to build a portfolio, right? It doesn't hurt you to build kind of like a business card of some interesting things that you've done.
And it's memories.
So have that. What's that?
And it's memories.
And it's memories. Like that's why I do it, right? I was just in Miami, and I was on one of the students had a place with a yacht, so I was on the yacht. So we took a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, of course I'm going to post that and say, look, I did Miami, and I use a little Scarface quote and whatever not, right? And I posted that on there, and yeah, like that's now a memory for me. And it's also, it shows, hey, look, I've been to Miami as well too, right? So it could be like a little business card, but I say you use it as like, just like a bit of an extra asset, but and it can be an extra way of meeting women too. We can add that to the lead generation funnel, but I wouldn't say, like, especially with me having a lot of followers and having a pretty good Instagram and a lot of traction, that needs to be like a very little small percentage. I wouldn't advise anybody to focus a lot of time on that.
Focus on
anymore, because that ship is kind of, it's like online dating, right? Where when Tinder first came out, my buddy was getting dates every night, dude. He was fucking crushing it. But now, like Tinder, maybe in other countries, but here in the US, Tinder is not as good as it used to be.
I think it's, I filmed it, I wrote an article about it, and then I made a video about it. And my argument was that, and I think it's the same. I mean, you have the practical, literal, like, experience of having that follower count, so you know better than me. But I think my logical, like, assumption is that it's just that it got saturated. And so what you have to do is you just have to climb. You got to work on your text game, or you got to work on your DM game, or with Tinder, like, because I think there's still girls on it. But they're just so saturated with how many likes that or swipes that they get that now their standards are like,
yeah, so it's harder to stand out. So to your point,
right? So get better pictures, get more rips. That's why I'm fucking hitting the gym every day.
Dude, I'm down like 15 pounds already this year. I'm trying to get fucking shredded, bro. That's what
awesome,
it's all.
Man. I'm 15.
Yeah, I lost 15 since January.
I guess the winter bulk. I guess kind of.
I mean, I was like, I'm still down. Even when I was big, I was still down 100 pounds from before. But like, I want to like really get lean this year. I want to get in my best shape ever. So I'm pretty aggressively.
Why? Like, you see those pictures of like really ripped guys on Instagram, and you're like, it's hard, but it's simple.
Well, I've been ripped before, and then I mean, you know, my body fat's still healthy, but I know how I felt back then, and I love bodybuilding and weightlifting. I like going to the gym, and when I lift, I like seeing veins in my arms while I'm doing curls and all that. It just makes me happy, like, because I'm looking at myself in the mirror every day. Anyway, so it's mostly for me, dude. I really enjoy it, and then, you know, obviously the girls like it more too. But to be honest, dude, like, even when I'm not ripped, like, it never makes a difference.
Yeah,
it never makes a difference. Even if I have a little body fat on me, like, the girls, by the time you get home and your shirt gets off, like, it doesn't matter at all, dude. Like, they're still into you. But now here's the thing. We talk about ways of meeting women. So one of the ways you can meet women here in Austin is, since the weather's really good, there's a lot of outdoor, like, swimming pool type of stuff. We have natural springs and other things like that. So
helps with that.
Yeah. So the body helps with that. You see what I'm saying? So that is another form of lead generation that is unique to where I'm at. Like, if you live in Miami or somewhere warmer, you know, you're going to meet women at the beach and other things like that too. So yeah, it does help to not be a hairy slob in those areas. So that may be something where crafting your game and your approach around that, right? So being in good shape is really important in warm areas.
Yes, and plus you're healthier, and you're gonna fuck better because you're in better shape. Your cardio's better.
Absolutely, and where, like, fashion is more important in colder areas, probably.
Yes. Here it's cold, and oh man, these women dress. They dress so well. But yeah, I can't walk around with my shirt off, unfortunately, right now.
Only on the webcam chats here. You can throw the guns out.
But it's mostly guys, so.
Hey man, we got to impress someone one way or another, right?
But actually, I looked at the statistics. I think the female viewership is like 9%.
Female what?
Female viewership, like the like the demographic for it's like 9% of like the
Oh, wow.
watch our videos are women, and I've gotten messages from quite a few women and some very attractive women who are like, look, I love what you're doing. You
Oh
know?
man, I got to go change my outfit. Hold on, I'll be right back. I should have done my hair or something, man.
No, it's gonna get, bro. I could tell the future in like a year or two, we're gonna be fucking huge, and people are gonna be watching this, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Joe, he's good looking. He's a dating coach, and he has 60K followers." And you're gonna get fucking.
Oh yeah. Well, by then it'll be 62K. So.
All right.
that extra 2K will make all the difference.
Oh, well. Maybe I'll be at 1,000 by then. We'll see.
We'll get your followers up, man. No problem.
Get it.
I used to do Instagram marketing, so that's why.
You know. Okay.
Yeah, there's some tips and tricks.
They're cracking down on me. We could talk about that, but I think they're cracking down.
They are cracking down on that too. Yeah, it's become a lot more difficult. I stopped doing it.
Damn it, censorship. It's the worst.
Everything has its time.
Yes.
But that being said, I think cold approach is great again. That's what I've been telling people. I'll be like, last year, my goal was to make cold approach great again. And I've been telling people that cold approach is great again because my buddy wanted to get a hat, you know? And I just think that girls kind of have been getting a little more sick of these guys hitting them up so randomly on the apps and through social media and whatnot, where like now you stand out more, you know? Like I could imagine you live in person in a venue, like coming in with your energy, your personality, your game, just you right there, your whole package, you know, put together, the whole thing. Like that's unstoppable, dude. That's unstoppable. Like, yeah, you swiping around with 5 pictures is, you know, you could definitely get girls that way too. But if I could have you in one form, it would be you in person, you know, just come in there like a wrecking ball, you know, like that is going to be the best, you know, way of making an impact. So I really advise the meat and potatoes of your lead generation should be in person.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Coming from you, especially. Cold approach will never die. It's kind of like if you lost all your businesses and, you know, you were left with nothing, what's one thing that we've learned how to do by selling coaching? Cold call or warm calling, but cold calling too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that, like same thing. Yeah, or even basic sales lead generation. People knocking on doors, right? People even say that. Yeah, knocking on doors. You know, going out, hitting the streets, right? Like getting out there and putting yourself out there. So all the other stuff is once you have them in the funnel is all luxury, and it is good to set up, right? Like I was telling guys, if you're going out and meeting girls, making friends, adding them on Instagram, you do a couple posts, couple stories, and then now you keep them in the funnel, which is kind of keeping them warm. And then when you have an event or something, or a house party or whatever, then you could kind of invite them to that, which is another good funnel as well too. So you could use your social media as an asset that kind of keeps these leads warm, right? Like videos for us, right? Yes. Videos and articles, they're touch points. They keep guys interested in us. And I worked for other dating companies where they stopped doing articles, they stopped doing videos, and then
sales go down.
They're done.
Yep.
They're done. Yeah. So it's about staying relevant and keeping yourself out there. Absolutely.
Did we just correlate funneling with SEO? Like it's real life SEO is going out.
Yeah. It's promotion, right? It's promoting yourself and like you really have to. And like we're back to what we were saying before, dude, those meetups, those dance classes, the cold approach, the day game, the night game, the, you know, meeting people and them inviting you to events, going to events, right? I went to a social hour last week and I met a whole bunch of great people. So just going there. And then now one of the persons from the social hour, one of the girls, she's invited me to 2 events already since last week. And it was last Wednesday. Now here's the real kicker of it. Last Wednesday, I had planned on going, but like an hour before I was like, do I really want to go? Right? I could stay home and watch some videos or do some work or some other bullshit. And I was like, no. I know that thing always pops up. But I said, fuck this, I'm going anyway. And it winds up paying off. So that's a big thing that a lot of guys struggle with is they'll have that thought of like, oh, maybe I'll stay in tonight. And then that's a downward spiral, man.
Yeah.
The more you stay in, the more you won't be able to build any of these things up. If this is important to you.
Yeah, if it's important, I think at a certain level you can but we have to keep ourselves honest, like you just said. Like even if
Right.
you're a dating coach and you know you can go out, maybe that can even be the biggest poison. Is now
Oh,
I don't need to go
absolutely.
out, and that can turn you into. I mean, yeah, you need to focus on your business. You can't be doing everything at once.
Sure.
I guess we'll get to that later. But yeah, no, don't listen to that voice that tells you not to go out. So
That
I'm
fucking
trying,
voice, man.
sitting here as we're talking, I'm trying to like. Some guys, they might have listened to all that and they're like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. And then they're like, oh, fuck, but how do I like encapsulate it? So I want to give like one little like statement
Let's do it. Yeah.
that'll like recap what we just did and I was writing down. And then maybe if you made any notes, you can help me. So, okay. So you have, this it doesn't make any fucking sense, but okay. You have the main way to get girls. Cold approach will never die. It's always the number one, either night game or day game.
Evergreen.
Mm-hmm. And so for you, it's night game. For me, I kind of prefer day game these days because it just feels better. But both work. So day game, night game, streets, coffee shops, gym maybe, stuff like that, or clubs and bars.
Yeah, or God forbid, there's festivals. Festivals are always great. If you get any type of, even a street festival or anything where people are gathered around.
Okay.
It's good. A buddy of mine who's a coach, he made a really good point. He says, go to the places where people hang out in their downtime.
Because they're free.
Because they're free, right? So he's like, go to like those, if there's like a monument or like a graffiti wall, for example, or, you know, a grocery store. Like we have a Whole Foods here where people sit down and eat as well too. And a lot of people gather there. So wherever people kind of gather to hang out, like on those heat maps, you know. And then I saw a meme the other day. It says, all you single guys out there are trying to get lucky. It says, have you tried painting wings on a wall and waiting for girls to show up to take pictures?
Oh my God. That would be, first of all, you're autistic. I almost said autistic. I'm autistic. You're artistic, so you're painting it. And then it's, oh man, that's genius.
Dude, that would work.
You're an artist. Oh my God.
That would work. Put it on the Instagram too, and then you got everybody from everywhere.
That would be such a good viral video. Like it could be like a social. Oh, man.
Dude, let's make a video at some point. Me and you painting some shit on a wall and just waiting for we'll do like a time lapse of girls just showing up.
Just like a clicker.
Here's infield footage, yeah, of us painting on the wall, dude. That would be amazing.
You see, like me in the corner, just like fucking some bitch.
We'll paint a couple wings. We'll do a couple push-ups.
Yes.
Paint a couple more, a few more push-ups.
Yes.
It'll be great.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes, cold approach, night game, day game, or events, or big like watering holes, if we're going to talk about people as animals. And then you kept pointing on what was the word here? I like to use auxiliary like ancillary maybe, yeah, like it shouldn't be your main meat, and then you're just like funneling them in. So Tinder, Instagram,
Bumble,
Snap.
Hinge.
Yes. So they should feed in because, oh, yeah. A lot of clients I have, that's their main source. And I'm like, dude, go approach. And then especially if they get a girl from that, like I have a client, he's like, man, she was the hottest girl I've ever slept with. And I helped him get her. And he's like, thanks for that. But he's like, now I'm kind of lazy because I'm getting pussy. And he runs a business, so he's super busy. And he's like, I don't have the motivation to go out. And I'm sitting there as his dating coach, like I helped him get laid, but at the same time, I actually just fucked him over because I gave him
yeah, he got one that was good. But you know, if you weigh the time, this is what I teach this all the time to guys. I say, if you weigh the time that you spend swiping and messaging and setting up the dates, that time really adds up.
Yes.
Versus if you spend 1 hour in either a touristy spot for a day game, right, where there's a lot of people around, or you know, a solid lounge or bar, you spend 1 hour and you say, I'm just going to crush approaches, dude, you're going to leave with numbers, like, and much more solid interactions. You'll leave with friends. Like that hour that you spend there is really, really worth it. And I was just teaching these guys this weekend, and the last day we talked about motivation. And I told them two things for motivation, right? Because a lot of guys do say that to me too. I'm not motivated to go out, right? So two things. Number one, write down the deep-seated reasons why you want to meet women. Right? And write down the deep-seated cons, right, of not meeting women, right? Okay, if I don't go out and meet women, then I'll be lonely. I'll be depressed. I'll feel like I'm left out. I feel like I'm not experiencing life. I feel like I'm not getting what I'm entitled to, and whatever the heck it is, right? And then why I go out, because I want to meet new women. I want to have that connection. I think about it all the time. It actually carries over into social skills for all areas of life, right? I actually want to be more peaceful, whatever. Write these things down. So when you're at home, when we talk about in that magic moment, we're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go out today and approach or not. You read those things to yourself and keep them in your phone and be like, oh shit, well now I want to, you remind yourself of what those are. So you wind up doing it. That's one way. And the second way, dude, is cutting out the porn and the masturbation, dude. Like that is fucking huge. I've been like about a month and a half now since the beginning of this year. And dude, I've been getting out every week. Like I get the fuck out because I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit home and watch porn or look at hot girls on Instagram. I wind up getting them off my explore page too.
Oh man. Yes. I had to take them off. I even had a hot girl on my my lock screen as kind of like motivation. But the problem was I did stop. It's been since I've watched porn, like 4 months, 5 months.
Oh, good for you, man. That's fucking awesome.
Just because I did it so much, because I was just but here's the thing. I'm such a horny bastard. I could jerk off like 6 times like to porn and then still go out. But
that's awesome.
It's just maybe because of my age. I don't know what it is. But when I did cut it out, I actually found that I got less horny because I gained control of my
control. Yeah, and they call it sexual transmutation.
Yes,
Napoleon Hill talks about that, right? And Think and Grow Rich, where like that energy that you would have spent towards that, you've now used towards other things. I've been getting more work done. I've been actually making more money. And dude, I think part of the reason why I've been losing weight and getting in better shape, dude, I'm serious, is from cutting that out. It makes your testosterone higher.
Yep.
And
drops cortisol, so it drops the fat storing, I think.
Does it? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, because I noticed my stress levels definitely lower too. I just think it's great, man. Like it's very tough to do, but I have a list on my phone for that. So if I do want to watch porn or something like that, I read the list and I'm like, well, here's all the benefits I get from not watching it. Mm-hmm. And here's all the issues that come up if I do watch it. And I'm like, well, this is an easy choice to make, man.
Yeah. You just have to remind yourself. And even at a high level, it's just the basics. It's just what's the benefits and what's the cons. And even, so I cut porn and then jerking off, it was this we're very forward with our lives or very transparent, but like I think it was, God, it must have been a month and a half since I last jerked off, and it wasn't even anything I thought about. Like when I went sober, kind of everything just like fell into place, which is also a big thing, which I'm glad that you talked about it, guys. If you're depending on any sort of like going sober it's just like a magic, if there's any magic pill, sober is amazing, but
you retain, like you get all the benefits.
Yes.
You get all the benefits from your socializing, right? And you remember it all. And it just, you don't want to be reliant on something as like a crutch. That was always why I never was interested in. I was like, I don't want to have to drink to be somebody else. I want to be that person without the drinks.
I will give it credit. It did, at least with drinking. Everything else I definitely could have done without. And I didn't go super far. I wasn't like a heroin addict, but I've definitely done some stuff. And I would advise against that. But drinking, there was a small benefit. You ever heard the phrase?
It's out of your head, right?
Yeah, and it showed me who I could be. And even Chase talked about this. It was like, look, what am I when I'm reduced to my base animal instincts? Right. Like, what kind of person am I? And I was how I am now. Just, I'll fucking say what, like, if I see a girl, I'm like, yo, you got a bad ass. Like, I want to. And I was confident doing that. And then I stepped out of myself and I was like, can I do that sober? And then I started developing that. And then I could have dropped it years ago. So it was a good, like, small help to like open my eyes to who I could be. And then obviously
that's a great point. That's a great point. You know, I actually talked to a guy in LA we went to a language meetup where people go to practice foreign languages. Okay. So whether practicing Spanish or people who are foreign practicing English. And that was really fun to meet cool people too, by the way. But one of the guys said that he was always really afraid of like socializing, public speaking and whatnot. So they gave him this one pill. I forgot what it was called, but it's like, it lowers your heart rate. Mm-hmm. I forgot what the hell it's called, but they give it to people with anxiety. So he would take that before he would go socialize or give speeches. And then what he found was that he'd take that, his heart rate would chill out, his adrenaline would lower. He'd do the thing and he'd be like, well, this isn't that big a deal anyway. And eventually he didn't need it. Exactly. Right. So it kind of goes back to your point where he's like, okay, I could do this. It's not that big a deal. So then he didn't even need the thing in the first place. He found out once he actually did what he was afraid of.
Yes.
Right. But having that
door open or whatever. Yeah. But it opens the door. It shows you what's possible.
It's a door opener. Yeah. And it lets you actually do it without, So, you know, me and you are like, well, fuck it. We'll face the fears no matter what they are. Anyway, we just plow through them. But, you know, I thought that was kind of interesting that he said. So I was like, oh, I should do that. But I never wound up doing it. But I think it is really cool.
Oh, well, you did it with, I mean, even more kudos to you. You did it without it. So yeah, I would definitely advise guys focus on getting sober. But if they have super social anxiety, yeah, go have a few beers and see who you are. I always tell people that's your real personality. Don't become dependent on it. But people will tell me I'm introverted. And I always say, you ever gotten shit-faced?
Yeah, I bet you're not introverted, yeah.
No. Now, if you're quiet then you're just an introvert, and that's okay. But most people aren't. They're not as introverted as, it's just an excuse. Oh, I can't.
It's a label, right? It's one of those limiting labels that we throw on ourselves. Dude, I used to be a fat guy, and I used to be a shy guy, and all that stuff. But, you know, that you got to work through those labels, man. It's your identity. You got to be careful how you define yourself.
Yeah, I think you always have core, like tendencies that you can't really fake, but you can shave the bullshit off, I think. Definitely. But what was I? Oh, the no masturbation. Yeah, I jerked off last night. Hey guys, I masturbated. Go Hector. And I felt, you know.
Oh, yeah, you feel like shit after, man. You feel tired. You feel like almost guilty. Like it's like eating a piece of cake.
Yep.
Right. Unless it's your birthday, like if you just randomly go and eat something like donuts or cake or whatever, especially if you're working out, you're like, maybe I shouldn't have had that.
Right.
Which you also feel after being with some women as well too. But that just means that they're not eating.
You need to step your game. I mean, sometimes you just need to bust a nut. You know, we're guys.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with the you know, no porn, no masturbation, but that doesn't mean you can't have sex, right? So I think that should motivate you to go and have sex and I think it's natural and healthy.
You're gonna have to.
For guys watching this, this will motivate you to get the fuck out and approach women.
There's no motivator greater than horny. I mean, we could come up with like trauma, or we're trying to prove things.
Or pain and loneliness and depression, but like
horniness is pretty much
that's up there, man. People have been marketing to that for many years. You know, they've been selling guys on that for a long time.
Well, we can give them a healthy outlet. Yeah. So quit the porn.
Which is cool about what we do. We give them the real deal.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. We're not just like, okay, you here, you know, say this one word and you're going to get every girl you talk to. It's this magic sexual free.
Get your dick bigger, say this, or horny single moms. Those are the...
Yeah, old guys can get 20-year-olds by just saying these three things or something like that. It's like, come on, dude.
Bullshit. But someone clicks on it. I want to meet those people who click on it.
Horny guys, man. They're horny as hell, dude.
When we're thinking with that, it's all of our logic goes out the fucking window.
That's why we got our lists.
Yeah, bro. I'm like really trying here. Like I struggle with conversation. I think it's because I did grow up with my mom, and so I didn't have that masculine linearity of like conversational ability. So you're right. I can relate to women really well because they're just fucking bonkers when it comes to conversation topics. Mm-hmm. But it's a struggle sometimes. So we had we're talking about funneling. So we had the main one. We have the auxiliary or ancillary, like. Yep. Shouldn't rely on Instagram or Tinder or Bumble. That's right. We got into the guys who do rely on it. Oh, and then we got into the motivations. I'm seeing how we got this.
Yeah, because they use that as an excuse, or I'm not motivated to go out, so I'm going to use this. And then you also said busy, which is what I hear from a lot of guys too. I'm really busy, so I don't have time to go out. And I'm like, well, like I know guys, they're spending all day messaging these girls from these apps. I'm like, dude, put 2 hours. I tell a guy if they can't get out at all, I'm like, or they haven't get out at all, I'm like, 2 hours, or let's fucking start with one, dude. Like, let's start with one.
That's 20
like
approaches.
1 hour. Yeah. You can crush approaches in 1 hour of going out. And sometimes the 1 hour turns into 3, maybe one night turns into 2.
Yeah. When you meet that hot girl.
I tell myself now, I've been doing this forever, right? And I still say, let me get out once a week. That's my goal, once a week. And it very often turns into 3 nights or more a week. Yep. You know, but I just say just one. And I give myself that small attainable goal, which I've learned When I was younger, like in my early 20s, I could set these huge goals.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm eating no carbs. I'm fucking going out sometimes 7 nights a week if I could in the summertime, and crushed it. But now as I'm older, my brain kind of understands these things. If I set too big of goals, it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Too much. I already got too much shit on my mind, you know?
Yeah.
So now I set a small goal and a small attainable goal, and I wind up always exceeding that.
And it's less pressure on yourself.
It's less pressure, dude. I fucking put so much pressure on myself in my 20s. Like, I'm 32 now, and I'm just done doing that, dude. And then now as I put less pressure on myself, like I was just writing in my journal last night, I'm doing better than I ever have. You know, money-wise, girls, friends, business, I mean, everything. And it's just, it's weird because a lot of guys are afraid to take the pressure off because they think that's what's making them do it. But there's a book called The Happiness Advantage, which is a really interesting book. And they just have study after study after study after study that shows when you're happy and you're peaceful and you have less pressure on yourself, you do better and more creative work.
Yep.
You're way more successful. So I've really tried to embrace that over the last few years.
Okay, let's skip boundaries then, because I can feel the energy of the conversation, and it's going to taking breaks, because this is a perfect segue into it, and it's taking pressure off yourself. And actually, no, they fit. So for guys who are newer, before this conversation starts, we want to set a primer so that guys don't get confused. If you're newer, I think that pressure on yourself, it's kind of like it's like the rockets on a shuttle. Like, it's fucking violent, and it's full of explosions, and it's really heavy, but you got to get yourself into orbit.
It gets you off the ground. That's a perfect analogy, dude.
So where would you say, are there gaps when it's okay to take breaks? Is there a certain point of like for me, like, I don't feel like I have to prove shit anymore. Once you've hit like 100 girls, you're just like, and then not counting the ones you didn't fuck, you know, the ones you got close to, and then not counting
not even the girls you approached or you met, not even counting the thousands of all that shit. Yeah.
Like, at some point you're just, cause that's the biggest thing for me as a dating coach, and maybe I'll give guys a macro perspective, and then guys obviously who aren't dating coaches. But for me, the biggest thing with taking breaks is I didn't let up because I was afraid, one, I'm going to get rusty and I'll turn into a beta, noob.
Right. We're afraid to get rusty. Yeah.
And then it was guys saying, oh, who are you? Like, how could you teach guys and you're not going out and getting a new lay every week? But,
right. We have that pressure on us too, which I definitely, I know how that feels. Yeah. Yeah. If you're like, I know if I take a few weeks off, sometimes I'm like, well, shit, what can I teach what that's happened in the last few weeks? Right.
But at some point when you have so many reference points, like I've just seen too much, but also it's like, how am I gonna, because I want to make money and do things, like that requires effort. So the same thing of, if you want to get good with girls, like really good, you got to go out a lot. But if you want to make money and write, like that takes time. And I don't know, I'm not good at multitasking. So I can't be going out and then focusing on business. So for me, it was a necessity to, like, now it's been like kind of 3 months in my little cave, but I'm getting more done and I'm making more money than I ever have. Right. So the only barrier, is the self-criticism, and then the occasional criticism of a guy who's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about anymore.
It's also our ego too.
Yes. I'm a dating coach. I'm a pickup artist.
Yeah. And it's like, oh man, I haven't gotten laid. And like, I remember like 6 years ago, if I didn't go out for like a week or two, I'm like, man, dude, like, come on, bro, you got to do this. Like, you got to, and I was still a coach back then too. And I was like, man, you have to do this. You got to hook up with girls or whatever. Like, and I had that type of thing in my head, where that I don't have anymore. But now what I do, okay, so I'll give you an interesting correlation. There's a bodybuilder who was a former Mr. Olympia. His name is Dexter Jackson. And he's almost 50 now, but he still bodybuilds. Okay. And what he said is, he goes, after the contest, I don't take 4 months, 5 months off anymore. He goes, I still lift a little bit, because if I take 4 or 5 months off, he goes, when I come back, my joints hurt. Right. He says, so I do something just to keep myself moving and keep the blood in the air. Because if I take too much time off and come back, it's really hard to get going again, because now he's older and whatever now. But I could kind of relate that to the socializing and stuff. Like I said, now my small goal is to get out once a week, right? Because I don't want to have such a big a gap where, and like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years, right? But I don't want to have such a big a gap where like when I go to get back into it, I have like a lot of hesitation. So I just want to keep the social muscles flowing a little bit. And even if it's not going out at night to do approaches, even if it's just meetups or hanging out with your friends or something like that, I encourage all guys to keep somewhat of a social lifestyle, right? Because I know me personally, if I spend 3 days at home working and don't socialize with anyone, my social anxiety gets very bad. That's just how I am. So I have to keep myself socially lubricated, so to speak. So I try to make sure that I get out at least a little bit. Now, that being said, when I went home for the holidays, I was home for 3 weeks. I didn't do any approaches. I didn't go out to the nightclub, but I was hanging with my family and I'm chatting and I'm social and I got a really good warm energy from that. But at the same token, I didn't say, oh, I'm not getting laid during these 3 weeks. I'm less of a man or whatever. It was all good.
Okay.
I came back out here and I went out. But I think, you know, guys who first start really got to hammer this stuff.
Yes.
And really get it down. The guys who I've seen get the best, the quickest, have really done massive action, right? There's no way about that. You know, they went out a bunch, myself as well, for years. I just went out. We're like, now I'm at a point where I can get out 1 to 2 nights a week. And that's fine for me to keep the skills sharp. And now they're potent. So I could still meet girls pretty easily.
Yes.
And do all that where like I said, like you said, we don't have anything to prove to ourselves anymore. I've accomplished all my goals and then some, and all the goals I never even knew that I had, and done all the crazy stuff. We could write a book about it, you know, a Tucker Max style book about all the crazy shit we've done. At this point, I remember you telling stories with us in the group chat. And I was like, oh man, this shit's just nuts, you know, like crazy chaos and all this stuff. But I think that, you know, if you've really earned some time off and you get really burnt out from doing this for a long time, then it may be good to take some time off to kind of reassess your goals and remember why you want it, right? So like back to weight training, if I'm really burnt out, my body's stressed and I need to focus more on work, maybe I'll take a couple weeks off from the gym, right? And I'll give my joints a break and I'll let my body relax or something like that. But I mean, I've never taken a break. I don't think I've even taken a break as long as a month in the 10 years. Like as far as not doing any approaches, like I've still always done it like one way or another. Like even when I was at the grocery store the other day, I talked to a girl in the elevator. Like it's become a part of me. What were you saying?
Yeah, it's in our blood.
It's in our blood, man. And I think most of us guys want to change to become that person.
Yeah.
Right. That guy who is social, you know, they're sick of being that nerdy guy who keeps to himself. Now, that being said, let's be realistic and be honest. Like what you were saying, I believe your effort needs to meet opportunities.
Yes.
So when you have a good opportunity, you have to put in the effort. Okay. Last year I was doing some advertising. We had a really good opportunity and I was really locked in and crushing that. And I didn't go out as much, definitely not, because I was getting up early, checking my advertising campaigns and whatnot. And I made a lot of money at that point in time because that was the best opportunity in my life. And I just focused in, locked in and really crushed it. Right. So if something like that comes up, you know, definitely hit those things hard. And you have to, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right. Trying to balance which things you need to do more. And the topic of balance is talked about so much, right? But if something is going to really pay off and you get that opportunity, you're going to have to put all your energy in that. And the other things are going to have to suffer for a little bit, right? But that being said, it's taken me forever, but I have kind of found some balance with what I do. After we get off this call, I'm going to eat, I'm going to go work out, right? Then I got my meditation in this morning. I'll get my work done this afternoon, you know, and like, I'll get out on Friday and Saturday. Like there are things that you could put, like even with fitness, I tell guys, like if you work out a half hour 3 times a week and you really lift intensely, like, dude, you tell me you can't spare, let's say, you know, we add in the commute 15 minutes each way. Yeah. So 3 hours, you tell me you can't spare 3 hours a week for all the benefits you get from weightlifting, right?
My gym's downstairs.
You can't spare 2 hours going out and approaching girls, right? During the week. Like, you know, just adding in those bare minimums of certain things pay off such dividends. Dude, 10 minutes of meditation in the morning pays off so much.
That's fucking,
why not do it?
Yes.
It's just, it's as far as incorporating these things. And look, if you want to take a break or take off the gas or whatever, like just keep the bare minimum. You know, my buddy calls it the minimum effective dose. Like what's just enough to be effective, right? So I think you should always stray to keep the minimum effective dose in. And then, you know, allow yourself leniency to take time off if you have other opportunities. Like I said, going home and spending 3 weeks with my family was amazing. over the holidays. And that opportunity was more important for me than going out and trying to approach girls during Christmas. So that's my rant. I'm over with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just starting it now, but you have experience with those, because I haven't taken I'll basically just, everything you said, I was like, yep, I get it. And I didn't want to interrupt, but I was just like, oh my God, he's like, it sounds like an older version of me telling like myself to reassure myself it's okay. So like, you know, I was just like, oh, like everything I thought was confirmed. Oh my God.
That's awesome, dude. How old are you now?
20, I don't know, 26. I'll turn 27.
Oh man, dude, you're so far ahead of everything at that age, dude. You're doing so awesome for that age. Oh my God, dude. But yeah, like, yeah, I hear you. I think you're way farther than I was at that age. But I started young too. I started at 21.
Okay.
With all this stuff. So I hear what you're saying. But yeah, dude, let yourself, like, you got opportunities, bro. Just, a friend of mine who was another dating coach, actually, who came up before me and brought me up in the ranks. He wound up making like $15 million in 1 year off of affiliate marketing. And he told me, I'll never forget the advice he said. He goes, dude, when you have that opportunity and that window opens, he goes, hammer that as hard as you can, crush it as hard as you can, and put all your energy into it. So like I said, effort has to meet the opportunity. So if things are going well and you're building something, fucking go for it. Dude, if you're making money at something that's doing really well, hammer it as hard as you can, save as much money as you can, and then start to invest that money, and then you'll get fucking kickbacks. Dude. You get interest coming back. Like, dude, that's what it's all about, dude. Like, fucking
giggle. It just makes me
hammer that as hard as you can. And same thing with girls, right? If you have a bunch of cool dudes in a cool city in the summertime or something like that, go out and make some fucking memories, and you'll wind up forming new beliefs and having experiences that'll change who you are.
There was the two, so both the dating and the money. The dating was, I met this dude. We were filming something for Girls Chase, and he was just in the background. But I don't know, I just felt the energy, like we were similar. And we ended up talking, and then he ended up needing a place to stay. And I was like, dude, just stay with me. And I barely knew the guy, but he's really social and he's really good with girls, and he knew a lot of people. Dude, I went out for like a solid 2 months, 3 months, and I just went nuts. And Chase was like, and I just got single. Mm-hmm. And Chase was like,
that's another good catalyst. Yeah.
Get a new girl every week if you can.
Yeah.
And I think within like the 12 weeks or something that I hit like 8 or 9, consistent weeks of getting a new girl.
Sure. Yeah.
And I met so many people, and
your skills probably went like
fucking
right.
I mean, I should have now if I would have did it over again, obviously I would have did it sober, because I might have gotten a little crazy. But I killed it. Then obviously I burned out. At a certain point I was exhausted.
Yeah, then you need to take some time off. But the point is, you got so many reference experiences, and they say, like Tony Robbins says, that reference experiences are like legs under a table. Mm-hmm. Right? So you had so many reference experiences, and the tables are like your thoughts and your beliefs, so that you have reinforced your beliefs that, okay, like I could do this. My game is really good. You enforced it so many times in that short period of time that it just develops rock solid confidence, right? You can't really turn confidence on like a switch. It could definitely help find and discover and unleash certain things to make you more confident, but nothing beats reference experiences.
No,
nothing's ever going to beat that.
You can't fake it. You have to like have a cellular like morph or transformation. That's just like, one thing is knowing it, and another thing is like seeing it, and you're like, oh fuck, like I can actually do that, and it boosts you into the stratosphere. And I think what the next thing is, because I'm trying to like learn how these signs are pointing, and I don't know who's putting them there, but there was the girls thing, and then now it's the money thing and the writing. And just like when you said that your friend who made $50 million, she said just hammer it. Again, I just had this voice in my head that says, yes, focus on that. And now that I'm focused on writing and making videos, like I'm just literally giving advice to anyone who asks me on Instagram, and anyone who wants to DM me, Poppy can see, or you can DM me. I'll put the link in the description. But I just like, no matter who it is, I have my coaching clients that I focus on, obviously, because they're but anyone messages me, and I'm doing it out of love and because I want to help them. And
it makes you happier and more fulfilled.
Yes. And I'm getting, like, I had a guy randomly, I was just giving him advice. He's like, I want to send you a tip. And I was like, oh, here's my PayPal. And he sent me like 30 euros. And I was like, okay, cool. And then a few days later, a different guy was like asking me for advice. I gave him some advice. Dude sent me $100. And I was just like,
dude, you put the value out. It's going to come back, dude. That's what it's all about. That's why we do these things, right? You know, I could sit and talk with you till the end of time, but we've chose to record it and give it out to the guys because they get some value from it, man. What goes around comes around, dude.
It's beautiful. And I don't know how it works, but it's fucking beautiful. And I think that because it's cool for guys to see where we are at, you know, we're not like mythic, we're literally just dudes, you know? Sure. But at my stage now, so what I'm focusing on is money and like the sense of accomplishment of creating something. And I think that's going to be the final like kick to the next level of like absolute abundance, which is Chase calls it. And it's having the ability to not only get consistently girlfriend quality girls, but be able to get them in relationships. And that's like his version of enlightenment for seduction. Because once you have that, you never worry again because you're like, I know I can consistently go out and get a girlfriend quality, not only to fuck, but as a girlfriend. And I just feel like this summer is about to be just some absolute fucking mayhem. And I'm just like getting ready for it. I'm getting in shape. Yeah. I'm getting the money so I don't worry about, you know, I go out and spending money on activities. Yeah. And, dude, life just gets exciting.
That's important too. Yeah. And you know, like definitely hitting that point where you're like, okay, I know I can do this.
Yes.
And you know, you'll always be able to do it. You know, like that's a beautiful place to hit, you know, and hit it in a place where like you accept that and you're cool with it, not to a point where like, okay, now I got to do better and better and better. Cause you know, that goal kind of always changes, but to hit it, that's always the goal for my guys is to hit a point where like you can do this competently.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to be an instructor. You don't have to be a legend. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff or brag about it online or whatever, but get it to a point where you could competently do it. And that goes for other things as well, where you have enough fitness, where you're healthy. And also like I have a good amount of money saved up now, like more than I've ever had in my life from working and also living lean. I think there's two parts of that, living lean, also working hard and multiple flows of income, you know, just not saying no to any ways of making money. But with that, I have so much more peace now than I did a couple of years back when I didn't have as much money, right? So certain things, they say like 90% of North Americans like don't have very little to no savings, right? I just filmed a video. I was like, how to be better than 90% of guys. I was like, dude, save a little bit of money, like have a little bit of money saved up so you're not worrying so much paycheck to paycheck, you know, like have a little money saved up. Like that little stuff boosts your confidence
a lot. It stresses you out.
Yo, money is like one of the biggest stress.
Yeah. It's a huge stressor.
So that's a big thing, you know, like even guys listening to this, like I started reading more about like saving and investing because that's the next thing I want to really learn about. But like I'm getting a new apartment now. I spent some time and found a really good deal on a new apartment, which is actually bigger than this apartment and in a better location, but it's also $200 less a month, which is fucking awesome. And then now with that extra $200, I could save that money. I can invest it. I can earn interest on it and things like that. Where, you know, to be mindful of that and having that, you know, talk about actual tactical ways of building your confidence, having some savings in the bank and is a great way to have some peace of mind and confidence.
I don't think the dating community, it either like one or two things happens. They're like just focus on game and they don't focus on anything else. Or they get too much into lifestyle and they lose like the specificity of actually learning how to get girls.
Because guys are like, okay, I hear the lifestyle, but now I'm going out. What the fuck do I say, right?
Exactly. But because I have guys who are like super successful, they got money, they're in shape, they're good looking.
Most of our clients, yeah.
They fucking suck with girls. And it's like, that's not the solution. They try to sell.
It's not the solution. No, it's not.
But having money, like, and I'm not even, like, I'm literally just now getting out of credit card debt. Like, I haven't even started to, like, technically I don't own any of the money that I have, right? Yeah. So, but the little I'm crawling out of it, I just feel better. I just feel happier. Like it weighs like somewhere in your psyche, that debt, that feeling of like, I don't own my own life. That does something to your confidence. So, you know, learn game, but fuck, having money, like it's if you have game and money, I can't imagine a better like combination. Because your clients who have yachts, you don't need a yacht, but fuck, it helps.
You don't need the yacht. We were out at the club, and both nights were out. I had girls who were like really into me, like blowing me up, wanted to come and meet up with me. And it's like I could have went over their place or fucking just met them at the shitty motel down the corner. They wouldn't have given a shit.
Yep.
Right. Now that other stuff is just like I mean, I was in Miami, so everybody's trying to show off down there, but I was kind of
Yeah.
turned off by it. But I'm like, man, you don't need any of this shit, dude.
No.
Like, yeah, maybe for a certain type of girl, like
Yeah.
ones who are really into that, like, yeah, like if you play it right, but you have to have the game and shit too. But, you know, going back to foundations, right? Health, wealth, and relationships, you know, taking care of your career, saving some money, having a little bit of a nest egg, I think is really, really important. Getting your game competent where you can go out and be social and meet girls, and having your health in check where, you know, you feeling good naked, right? Like feeling good about your body, like you working out. I mean, there's a zillion benefits to working out.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's for you to sit here with the sleeveless shirt and be like, all right, man, we've been working on this.
It
shit,
feels
you know,
good.
like feels fucking good, man.
Yeah.
It feels good. And I think having that well-rounded approach just brings us more happiness and more peace to your life, dude. I mean, there's a lot to it. And well, there's not a lot to it. There's just basic touch points, right? And like we said, you could do those things by just scheduling your week. Yes. Right? How you got to go to your job anyway. Mm-hmm. You're going to eat anyway, so eat healthy, right? Like a big thing that I think's helped me a lot with starting to lose body fat this year is I've been eating pretty much just like paleo, which is just healthy, natural food sources, right? I eat fruits, veggies, a sweet potato, and proteins.
Yep.
And some nuts and seeds and whatever, not like lemons in my water, like just simple natural food that we're supposed to fucking eat. And then the body fat just like, because, you know, when I'm home for Christmas, I'm eating, you know, cakes and pasta, whatever the fuck's around. But now just eating that, like, body's like, okay, this is how we're meant to be, how we're really meant to be primed with the right type of fuel, you know? So you're going to eat anyway, eat clean, hit the gym at least 3 days a week, get out one night minimum to go and approach. You're going to do your work anyway, you know? Don't spend money on dumb shit if you don't need it. Save up, like all these little things. To me, it just makes sense. Like that's the way to
it just becomes part of your, once you go far enough, because when you were talking about the breaks, I was like, you know what, I've never literally I'll say I'm not going to approach, and then you go to the grocery store, there's a pretty girl, and you just, like, at some point it just becomes not even a habit, something even more. It's
your identity, dude.
Yeah, it's just your identity.
You are. You're a social guy. You, like I said, even when I'm home with the family, I'm telling jokes, I'm telling stories, I'm hanging. You know, like, so we've become that type of guy from putting in the hard work up front. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, my first 2 years of this shit was just like hammering. I'm telling you, I had 7 nights out a week sometimes during the summer. Like I really hammered. We taught programs, 3-month-long programs in the summer where we would take 1 day off a week. So we go out 6 nights a week, just like crazy in Vegas and Montreal, like in Sweden we just went nuts. But that being said, when you build those skills, you're going to keep them sharp one way or another, right? Like you're going to, you may not be going out to approach, but you'll talk to the cashier at the grocery store. If you see a cute girl, you'll wind up talking to her. You know, you'll get out with your buddies and you'll socialize. It becomes a part of you, which is the goal for, I think, all these guys should.
That's the mythical natural, right? People talk about the natural. That's just what he's just a guy who likes to talk to girls. It's nothing like evolutionarily amazing. It's just literally I just like talking to girls, and like you said, write down your reasons why you want to talk to girls. Obviously, maybe deep down it's just all horniness, but if a guy knows why he talks to girls, like, I just like women, I just fucking find them amazing. And so it's not even like I need to go approach, it's just like I miss being around that energy. So if guys, I think that's a good idea, is write down your reasons why you want to go out and meet girls, and it's just going to make it, when you have those macro reasons, like you said, when guys, they're having trouble, like, oh, she didn't text me back. And then you're like, dude, just fix this and this will naturally fix. So funnel more girls and you'll just naturally get better at the technical stuff. Yeah, focus on the technical stuff, learn how to text, learn how to talk to a girl, blah, blah, blah. But if you want a quick solution, if there is one, it's macro, just know what you want and have a lot of girls in the funnel.
Macros, the meat and potatoes, that's what I was telling guys. Right? Your meat and potatoes, going out your system of meeting and bringing in new girls. That's the meat and potatoes, and all that other stuff is the salt. a little salt on the top. You know? Oh, I heard this line, and this line was really good. Like, yeah, this line's a little piece of salt.
Yeah.
I do a funny handshake with girls where I do this, and then I back up and I do the salt.
Hey.
And like, yeah, that works well, but that's not meat and potatoes. That's just a little extra funny thing that gets.
But if you're that guy, you can pull it off.
Exactly. It has to all start from your core, you know, and what's your foundational setup, right? If you're not getting out and you're not meeting girls, you're not working on your foundational skills, then, you know, you won't even have the opportunities to do the extra stuff.
Perfect. Well, I was going to go into boundaries, but it just feels like it doesn't fit well. So lead generation and then taking breaks. So they were the extremes. How to get a bunch of girls in your funnel, your marketing funnel, your dick funnel, your pussy funnel, whatever you want to call it. and then, you know, take breaks when you need to. There's times when you have to focus on other things. You know, if you're massively in debt, you know, you probably should get out of that.
Yeah.
Because that's going to like take that weight off of you, and it's going to make you better than those approaches would have. And sometimes when you really want to be good, you're going to go too extreme and burn out. And there's other things to life than getting pussy. Not a lot, but there are other things. And if you want to focus on them, That's where I am personally. But if you're a new guy and you're watching this, your main prerogative should just be massive action. Because as I've seen and Joe has seen, the guys who get the best results and end up, you know, some of my clients even eclipse me, like they're fucking 50 girls a year. I'm like, Jesus fuck, bro. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Just magical stuff. And I know that they got it by they go out 5 times a week. You can't sit home and expect girls, you know, unless you're Dan Bilzerian and you set that life up, you can't.
He set it up. He did work too.
He did the work to create it. Exactly. So he didn't just magically appear with that lifestyle. So you need to go out and you need to approach girls, and nothing at the end of the day is ever going to be a cold approach. Instagram will come and go. Tinder will come and go. But nothing will beat the great old G pimp style
meat and potatoes,
walking up to bitches and saying, "Hi, you're pretty. Nice to meet you. My name's Bobby."
We're making cold approach great again, bro.
You make cold approach great again.
I gotta get it. I got my pay me hat on, which I love this hat too. But
I like it.
I gotta get the cold approach great again.
I'll order one with you. I think we could sport it. Okay, well that sounds like a perfect. It feels like the best way to end this. So is there
Thanks for having me,
dude, man, it was, I was just smiling the whole time. Like, it's hard to, like, my cheeks kind of hurt because
me too,
I was just having fun talking to you. You have a great spirit, great energy. You have a lot of experience, so you know what you're talking about, but you're just, you know, when I knew you from Girls Chase, obviously, but we weren't like in contact. But I remember I was posting a lot on the subreddit seduction, and I know you post a lot on there. And back when I was maybe in my darker days, you know, I was posting and I was getting some negative feedback, and I was like, yeah, you know, maybe I'm coming off too negative. But then I kept seeing Joe, and I was like, oh, you know, I know Joe indirectly. But you were getting a lot of good reception. I was like, let me study this. Why is he getting good reception? You know? And when I was watching the videos and I was just hearing your voice, you can tell when a person's a good person, you know, like you just know. And I saw the way you were smiling and the way you were talking, and I was like, that's why, because he's positive. You know,
I appreciate that so much, man. That's a sweet compliment.
I mean that like with all of my heart and sincerity, because talking to you, when it's easy to talk to someone, it's just easy. Like conversation, it's like with a girl you meet, and it just fucking sparks and it just flows. So this was an absolute pleasure, man. I very much enjoyed.
Oh, me too, dude. I echo what I said earlier. I could talk to you till the end of time, dude. You're so intelligent and smart and doing so many awesome things, man. I really enjoy chatting with you.
I mean, I already have some of my clothes off, so I don't know how I'm about to get.
We'll end the recording, and then we'll both take them off.
We'll get a little frisky. All right. So I guess we'll end it there. This is Dr. Castillo Poppy from girlschase.com. This is Joe Ducard. He also worked for Girls Chase. Did you want to plug any of your YouTube channels or your Instagrams?
Just stick with Girls Chase, man. I'll try to get some more videos on here too. And I got the Joe Ducard YouTube channel, whatever.
We want you to make Girls Chase. All my editors and directors are like, dude, get Joe on like YouTube, like do videos.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to focus more on popping out more content, and then I gotta just send the videos over to you guys. Like I have a few unedited right now where I'll just edit my pauses out, like, because sometimes I do jump cuts. I'll just do that and send it over, and then you don't even
need to do that. We got the editing team. They'll take care of it. Literally just fucking film it, send it over, and we're good.
All right, sounds good.
And I'm putting pressure on you to do it because I'm gonna keep this in the video.
Yeah, keep it in here. I'm down. Keep me honest. Keep me honest. Yeah, I gotta get him over. I've definitely been thinking about that.
If he doesn't put up a video in the next 2 weeks, you guys need to come on here and give him shit.
Get Joe to put some videos out.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So again, Hector Castillo Poppy. Follow me on Instagram, Poppy Castillo. because I'm trying to get on Joe's level with that shit. And then check out our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, ring the bell, check out girlschase.com. I'll put all the links in the description. And this is a lot of fun.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
My